7:05. Come on, LeBay, where are you? DM LeBay.
Radio test for Travis. Radio test for Travis.
36:65. We're moments away from starting day 2 of the the Oval International here at the Calgary Oval, starting with the 500-meter women's and then moving right into the 500-meter men's races. A big shout out to meet coordinator Greg Plenart, to Chief Referee Rick Hunt, and the other assistants working alongside Rick: Moika Stoifel, Travis Boyd, Dave Thompson, Tracy Hillis, Bruce Thor, Rona Hathaway, and Werner Meyer. The starters today are the chief starter Blair Toblin, assistant starter Andrew Cross, and Adrian Tellison, along with Brad Bates, who will be assisting all three. The results up in the timing deck: Gloria Davis on the bell, Jean Yoon. IT specialist John Little, keeping everything under control up here, and the medics Noah Vespa and Avanish Padoni. We hope they have You know what that means. 2 minutes to showtime. Great things are about to come. And the 500-meter women's race coming up. Welcome to those that have joined us on the YouTube feed here from the Calgary Oval here in Calgary, Alberta. Stay tuned. We're moments away from the 500-meter start. The whistle has sounded. That's the signal for the skaters to head to the start area and for me to introduce the first of 14 pairings of the 5. Starting in the inside lane from Alberta, say hello to Caitlin Pelkey. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Chloe Beauchesne. And that's the bell lap and the 100-meter mark at 12:07 for Caitlin Pelkey, 12 seconds, 7/100ths of a second. Chloe Beauchesne at 12:19 as they head down the backstretch in this first of 14 pairings here in the 500-meter women's race at the Oval International. If you've just joined us, rounding out the final. And Beauchesne, let's see if they can best their personal best times. They cross the line. Pelkey is first at 42.85, just off her personal best. Chloe Beauchesne at 43.66, a season's best for Chloe. There we go. In pairing number 2, starting in the inside lane from British Columbia, Kirsten Hagen. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Rachel Freitag. Number 2 is underway. Freitag clocks in her 100 meters at 11.88. Hagen in at 12.09 as they round the first corner, connecting with their coaches, getting the encouragement and what they need down the backstretch, down the backstretch as they enter the final corner of the 500 meters. Here down the straightaway, looks like a very close race. Each skater pushing each other to do the best time. Let's see if they can get some personal bests out of today. Crossing the line first is Kirsten Hagen at 43.2, just off her personal best. Freitag at 43.43, just off her PB as well. In the third pairing, starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Haley Bell. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Claire Mallard. Third pairing of 14 pairings, Haley Bell from Alberta, Clara Mallard from Ontario. Bell's 100 meters is 11.57. Mallard is at 12.22. The time to beat is Caitlin Pelkey, who's laid down a time of 42.85. Down the backstretch, heading to the final corner. As Bell heads down to the straightaway first, will cross the line first, and she's going to do so with a time of 41.56, and that's a personal best for Haley Bell. Claire Mallard at 43.26. Haley Bell, personal best. In the fourth pairing, starting in the inside lane, from Alberta, Hee-Won Song. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Sophia Bieber. Both cross the 100 meters at a very close time. Hee-Won Song at 11.51. Bieber in at 11.65. Down the backstretch with the encouragement of their coaches, heading to the final corner. 40.22 is Hee-Won Song's personal best. 40 Bieber. Let's hope both of these skaters achieve PBs. Down the stretch they go. Hee-Won Song will cross the line first at a 41.12 and Bieber in at 41.95. In the fifth pairing of 14 pairings, starting in the inside lane from Quebec, Audrey Phaneuf. And in the outer lane, also from Quebec, Caroline Gingras. By Gingras at 11.28, the fastest time so far. Phaneuf in at 11.56 for the third fastest 100 meters so far this morning. He won Sung. The race just before is the time to beat at 41.12. Haley Bell at 41.55 and Bieber in at 41.95. Those are the top three times as they round the final corner. Here comes Gingras. She will cross the line first, and she will do so with a time of 40.16, which will be a season's best for her. Phaneuf in at 41.1. In the sixth pairing of these 14 pairings, in the inside lane from Quebec, Rose Lalabotte-Roy. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Molly Johnson. Lalabotte-Roy crosses the 100-meter mark first at 11:11 time. Johnson in at 12:22. Gingras has laid down the fastest time at 40.18. Audrey Phaneuf at 41.10, and he won Sung at 41.12. Those are the top three times. Rounding the turn on the straightaway is Roy. She's going to cross the line first, and she does so with a time of 39.82, just off her personal best. Molly Johnson crosses the line at a time of 44.40. In the inside lane from Alberta, Emma Langstrom. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Alexa Annika. And the first 100 meters is complete. Emma Langstrom in at 12:07. Alexa Annika at 12:34. This is the seventh pairing of 14 pairings for the 500-meter women's race in the 2021 Oval International. If you've just joined us here from Calgary, Alberta, at the Olympic Oval. Langstrom's coming out of the corner. Let's see if any personal best will fall in this race. Langstrom crosses the line at 43.73, just off her PB. Annika at 44.13, and that is a personal best for Alexa Annika by one-tenth of a second. One-tenth of a second. Congratulations. Now we're getting underway for the eighth pairing in the 500-meter women's race. Starting out in the inside lane from Germany, Nayla Charlene Neumann. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Jordan Campbell. And the 100-meter time for Jordan Campbell is 12.44 for Charlene Neumann at 12.46 as they head down the straightaway, get the encouragement from their coaches. The time to beat is Lalibode Watt, 39.82, with Gingras in the second spot at 40.16 and Funifin at 41.10. Here they come down the straightaway. Neumann will cross the line first, and she's going to do so with a time of 44.50. Campbell in at 45.32. That is a personal best for Jordan Campbell. And that's also a personal best for Nayla Charlene Neumann. Congratulations. In the 9th pairing, starting out in the inside lane from British Columbia, say hello to Hannah North. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Camille Alford. And the 100-meter time for Camille Alford is at 12.65 and Hannah North at 12.91 in the 9th of 14 pairings here in the 500-meter women's race at the Oval International, something we haven't done for 2 years. It's so good to be back speed skating, to volunteer and to help smooth meet, and of course for the athletes and the coaches. It's really good to be back. Here comes Alford down the straightaway. We're looking to see if these skaters can achieve their personal best. She crosses the line at a time of 45.81 and does achieve a personal best by 6/100ths of a second. Hannah North clocks in at 47.33. We now move on to the 10th pairing, and starting in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Sophia Dvorak. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Elena Menina. And Dvorak's 100-meter time is 12.59. Menina in at 13.14. 47.61 for Dvorak is her personal best, and 45.93 for Menina. These skaters will want to achieve personal bests if they can, because that's what it's all about. And so here comes Dvorak in the now outside lane. She started in the inside lane in the 500 meters. The lane you start is not the lane you finish. Down the straightaway they go. They're pushing each other. This is going to be very close. And Dvorak rather crosses the line at 46.86, which is a personal best for Sophia Dvorak. And Menina crosses the line at 47.02. So congratulations, Sophia Dvorak from Saskatchewan. In the 11th pairing, starting in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Sophia Ritzuk. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Robin. And the first 100-meter time, Sally comes in at 11.97, eighth in total so far. Ritzuk in at 13.55. 49.85 is the 49.85 seconds is Ritzuk's personal best, and we're looking for a personal best from Robin Sally, and she'll get this here. As the race she raced yesterday did not count, and here she comes down the straightaway. And let's see how she makes out as she crosses the line, and she does so at a time of 44.11. Maritza crosses the line at a time of 50.66. We now move to the 12th pairing. Starting in the inside lane from Ontario, Erilyn McGill. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Mila Reben. Crossing the line almost at the same time. McGill's 100 meters at 11.85, Reben in at 12.03. Many of these skaters haven't been back in the Oval International 2 years ago. So posting new times, the skaters are getting the cobwebs out. They've been dryland training for so long of a time period that it's great for them to now exercise their fitness and skills on the ice. And so crossing the line first is going to be McGill, and she's going to do so at a time of 42.64, which is a personal best for her. Congratulations, Erilyn. And Mila Reben crosses the line at 43.44, which is a season's best for Mila. We now move to the 13th pairing, the second last pairing in the 500-meter women's race here at the Oval International. Starting out in the inside lane, from Alberta, Tatiana Dovlig. From Alberta, Isabel Erasmus. Dovlig's 100-meter time is 11.79. Dovlig's personal best is 45.18. With a good start like that, she has a good chance of beating that time. Isabel Erasmus at 13.22. Her personal best is 49.24 as they come out the final corner of the 500-meter race. Dovlig comes down the straightaway, giving it all she's got. And she's going to cross the line with the tip of her skate at a time of 45.26, a season's best, but just off her personal best. Erasmus in at 49.43, just off her PB. We now move to the final pairing. This is the 14th. And starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Eloise Spence. And in the outer lane, also from Alberta, Elise Perpich. All right, the first 100-meter time, Perpich in at 12.65, Spence in at 13.08. As they finish their race, let me tell you what's ahead. We're going to take a 10-minute break at 10:10. We have a hard start. That's 10:10 Mountain Daylight Time. Calgary time. Not sure where you're watching it from all over the world, but Mountain Daylight Time, or another way, in 10 minutes. We will start the men's 500 meters, and we have 17 pairings for that. As we watch the final pairing, here comes Eloise Spence down the straightaway, and she's going to, or rather Perpich, and she's going to cross the line at 47.06 for Perpich. That will be a personal best and a season's best. Line at 49.7. Ladies, congratulations on today's PBs. So, looking at the times, Rose Ladarbote-Roy came in at 39.82 for the top time this morning. Caroline Gingras at 40.16, and the third fastest time, Audrey Phaneuf at 41.10. Those are the top three times. It's 10:01 Mountain Daylight Time. In 9 minutes, we'll be back here watching and the 500 meter or copyright, and well, basically we don't have the permission to play the music, so we don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube police. So, music for our Oval attendees. 2 minutes to race time. 2 minutes to race time. We're starting a hard start at 10:10. The whistle has been signaled. That's a sign that the starters are now moving into position. Welcome back to the 2021 Oval International. You're about to see the first of 17 pairings here in the 500-meter men's day 2 in this amazing event. In the first pairing, starting out in the inside lane, having one heck of a meet. And in the outer lane, also from Quebec, Christopher Fiola. All right, you're going to see a fast race here. The first 100 meters, Brunet in at 9.86. Fiola right there alongside of him at 9.88. Cedric Brunet had a knockout personal best in the 500 meters in the Canadian Long Track Championships. He has a personal best of 34.97. Can he best that? 34.55 for Fiola. He is also fast. These are two very fast speed skaters. Crossing the line first is 4 and Brunet in at 35.24. We now move to the second pairing of 17 pairings, starting in the inside lane from Ontario, Ryan Gibson, and in the outer lane from Alberta, Cody Miller. Thank you. I don't know. Pink right there. Pink is my favorite color. $1.95. $41.60. Ryan Gibson crosses the 100-meter mark at 9.98. Cody Miller in at 10.14 as they head down the straightaway and cross over the lanes. Gibson now coming around the corner, as does Miller. Here they come down the straightaway. These two are fast skaters. Let's see if they can achieve personal Crossing the line first is Miller with a time of 36:33. That is a season's best for Cody Miller. Ryan Gibson crosses the line at 36.4, and that is, in fact, a personal best. Congratulations, Ryan. In the third pairing, in the inner lane, from Quebec, Charles-Emile Gélina-Dion. And in the outer lane, from Alberta, Jalen Doan. First 100 meters, Gélina-Dion, fastest opener of this 500-meter portion of the Oval International, Doan in at 9.9995. The time to beat is Christopher Fiola. He's laid down a time of 35.04 as Dion and Doan come down the straightaway. Dion is going to cross the line first, and he does so with a time of 35.91. Doan in at 36.31, both just off their PBs. We now move to the fourth pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Quebec, Guillaume Labbé. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, Joshua Tellison. All right, Labbé and Tellison crossing the 100-meter mark. Tellison in at 9.97. Labbé in at 10.55. The three times to beat. Fiola lays down a time of 35.04. Brunet in at 35.24. And Gélina-Dion at 35.91. Coming out of the corner first is Tellison, and he's going to cross the line with a time of 35.60. Labbé in at 36.79. We now move to the fifth pairing. In the inside lane, from Ontario, Chris Homestead. And from Alberta, in the outer lane, in case you've just joined us, we're in the fifth of 17 pairings, the 500-meter men's races. We got Chris Homestead from Ontario and Matthias Bathe from Alberta. Homestead crosses the 100-meter mark at 10.26. Bathe in at 10.61 as they head out the final corner down the straightaway. Homestead has got a bit of an edge on Bathe, who's now catching up. But Homestead crosses the line first at a time of 37.08, and Bathe in at 37. Now moving to the sixth pairing, starting in the inside lane from British Columbia, Eric Olowski. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Caden Witowski. All right, we're in the sixth pairing of the men's 500 meters. Eric Orlowski from British Columbia does a 100-meter opener at 10.34, Witkowski in at 10.42. In a 500-meter race, I don't have a lot of chance to talk about what's going on behind the 1800s start, and they'll do so later this morning, both in the Oval International and the Canadian Long Track Championships. But crossing the line first in this 500 meter is Eric Orlowski at 37.18, and that is a season's best for Eric. Caden Witkowski crossed the line at 37.34. In the seventh pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Quebec, Antoine Goodbout. And in the outer lane from France, Thomas Miline. Thomas Mélin crosses the line at the 100 meter at 10.57, Godbout at 10.56. It's Thomas Mélin and Antoine Goodbout here in this seventh pairing. Looking for these skaters to achieve personal bests. Goodbout is on the inside lane. We'll finish on the inside lane. Mélin on the outside. Thomas Mélin at 37.22. That is a personal best for Thomas. And Antoine crossed the line at 37.63, a season's best. Moving to the eighth pairing in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Daniel Pauly. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Emile Hodzak-Santor. All right, you are watching the eighth pairing of 17 pairings in the 500-meter men's races. If you just joined us on the YouTube feed, Daniel Pauly in at 10.48 for the first 100 meters. Emile Hodzak-Santor in at 10.72 as they head out of the backstretch and into the final corner, looking hopefully to achieve a personal best. These guys are very close. Crossing the line first is Hodzak-Santor at a time of 38.07, and Pauly in at a time of 38.37. That's a season's best for Pauly. We now introduce the ninth pairing in the 500-meter men's race. Starting out in the inside lane from British Columbia, Nicholas Golayev. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Andre Erasmus. Golayev's first 100-meter time is 10.8. Erasmus is at 10.49. Want to give a big shout-out to Thomas Mélin for achieving. Thomas Mélin from France. Well done. Golayev coming down the straightaway will cross the line first in the inside lane, and will do so at a time of 37.66, and that will be a personal best for Nicholas Golayev. Andre Erasmus at 38.37. 11:54. Moving to the 10th pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Keegan Waddington. And in the outer lane, also from Saskatchewan, Bon Low. And we're off. The 10th pairing, Battle of Saskatchewan. Bon Low clocks in his first 100-meter time at 10.6. They're racing. I know they can't hear me because they're so into the race, but you can. A big shout out to Bon Low, who turned 18 years of age yesterday. His first day as an official adult in the province of Saskatchewan. And the birthday boy crosses the line at 13.14, and a great gift to himself because that's a personal best for Bon Low. Keegan Waddington in at 39.15. We now move to the 11th pairing of 17 pairings, starting out in the inside lane from Alberta, Matthew Medlicott. Also from Alberta in the outer lane, Jared Farquharson. The first 100-meter time for Farquharson is 10.78. Medlicott in at 11.15. This is the 11th pairing of 17 pairings in the 500-meter men's race here at the Oval International. It's so good to be back watching and helping out speed skating, watching these athletes. I think they're probably tired of 2 years of dryland training, treadmill, whatever they do. Back to be on the ice. It's so awesome. Jared crosses the line at a time of 39.08, and Medlicott in at 39.27. That'll be a personal best for Matthew Medlicott. Matthew, congratulations. We now move to the 12th pairing, starting out in the inside lane from India, Pratik Prasad. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Dino Alaz. The 100-meter time for Prasad is 11.16. Allows in at 11.3. Following the men's races, we will take a break and come back at 11:10 Mountain Daylight Time, wherever you are on the world. And that'll be a hard start, and we'll start the women's 1,500 meters. There's 14 pairings there, and then we'll have a nice resurface, and we'll come back and do the 1,500-meter men's. Here comes Prasad. He's going to cross the line first, and he does so with a time of 39.87, allows in at 42.41. We now move to the 13th pairing. Starting out in the inside lane from Alberta, Daniel Hall. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Liam Dallaire. First 100 meters for Dallaire is 11.14. Hall in at 11.5. In the 500 meters, the race, the lane you start in is not the lane you finish in. If you start in the inside, you finish in the outer, and the reverse is also true. Here come Hall and Dallaire down the straightaway. Dallaire started in the outer lane, will finish off in the inside, and he will clock his 500-meter time at a time of 39.50, and he should be very proud of that because that is at a personal best. Congratulations, Liam. Daniel Hall finishes his 500-meter at 40.36. We now move to the 14th pairing of 17 pairings. Starting out in the inside lane from Manitoba, Ben Rutledge. And in the outer lane from Alberta, say hello to Caleb Jacobson. Jacobson's 100 meters is 10.89. Rutledge is in at 11.3. If you happen to be watching the feed off YouTube, or executive producer for the photo finish, Ashley Young and Jonathan Guillemette. He is on the webmaster for today. Rutledge crosses the line at 40.31, which is a personal best for him, and Caleb Jacobson crossed the line at 39.62, and that's also a personal best. So Rutledge and Jacobson, congratulations on today's PBs. Moving to the 15th pairing in the inside lane from Ontario, Phoenix Bauma. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Ian McPeak. This is the 15th pairing of the 17 pairings of 500-meter men's. I love it when this happens. Both racers, Bauma and McPeak, cross the 100-meter mark at exactly the same time, at least the tens and the 100 seconds. They're down the back straightaway, connecting with their coaches, rounding the final corner of the two corners in the 400-meter oval. McPeak started in the outer lane. Will finish. And let's see how he does relative to his personal best. He comes in at 39.61 and bests his personal best by about 14/100ths of a second. Bauma in at 40.96, and he also achieves a personal best. So Bauma and McPeak, congratulations on PBs. They're tough to get the lower the time is. Moving to the 16th pairing, starting in the inside lane from British Columbia, Jack Hansen. And in the outer lane, also from British Columbia, Cameron Thomas. The battle are very close, separating 1/100th of a second on the first 100 meters. Hansen in at 11:59, Thomas in at 11:58. As you watch down the straightaway, wonder if Thomas got a little bit of the draft from Hansen as he rounds the turn. Here they come out the final corner. Hansen is in the outer lane. He's going to cross the line first, and he does so with a time of 41.88. Thomas in at 42.31. That's a season's best for Cameron Thomas. For Jack Hansen, congratulations. That is a personal best for Jack Hansen from British Columbia. In the final pairing, the 17th in the 500-meter men's, we have Matthew Mitchell taking the inside lane from British Columbia. And in the outer lane from Alberta, say hello to Bill Blonsky. All right, Matthew Mitchell from British Columbia's opening time is 11.93 at first 100 meters. The legendary Bill Bolonsky is also participating and in competing in this 500 meters as well. Mitchell heads down the backstretch to the final corner in his 500 meters. He is a personal best of 43.95. Let's see if Matthew can best that time. His opener was 11.93. He's about to cross the line, and he does so with a time of 43.95 and ties his personal best right on the nose. So congratulations, Matthew. I'd like to shave at least 1/100 off that time, but that's still a very good race, especially so early in the season. And here comes Bill Bolonsky. He's a legendary speed skater, absolutely loves the speed skating. He's been doing it for years and gets the opportunity to skate here at meets like the Oval International or the Fall Classic. He clocks in a time of 1:13.95. His PB a few years back was 1:03. Well, that completes the 500-meter race. We'll get a look-see. There we go at the times, the top 8 times. Let's give it up for Christopher Fiola from Quebec. 35:04 for Christopher. Top time in this grouping, Cedric Brunet. 35:24. Had an incredible personal best of 34.97 on Wednesday at the Canadian Long Track Championships. That's a tough number to beat from this point forward, but records get meant to be broken. And Joshua Tellison with the 35.6. So if you're watching the YouTube, we're coming back to start the 1,500-meter women's at 11:10, which is in 32 minutes time. We'll see you then. 7 minutes to race time. 7 minutes to race time. We come back for the women's 1,500 meters. All right, it's 11:07 Mountain Daylight Time here at the Calgary Olympic Oval. Welcome back. We're coming up to the 2-minute warning as everybody gets set for the continuation of Day 2 of the Oval International, which is the women's 1,500 meters. Officials are in place. We're in place up in the timing deck. Executive producer John Little with webmaster Jonathan Guillemette and Ashley Young on photo finish. They'll be watching the race from 14 pairings, and now we have the 2-minute warning. A 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, 1,500 meters, which is 3 3/4 laps around a 400-meter oval. It will now go quiet until I hear the whistle, and then the following introductions of the first pairing. Thanks. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're becoming a team. I feel like we're gelling. Little, Guillemette, Young, and Bieber. Sounds like a sitcom. I heard a whistle. Can I have a visual? I heard a visual. Right. Let's go. We're about to get underway. In the first pairing of the 1,500-meter women's race at the 2021 Oval International, starting in the inside lane from British Columbia, Kirsten Hagen. And in the outer lane from Quebec, Audrey Phaneuf. Good luck, ladies. If you've just joined us on the YouTube feed, you're watching the 1,500-meter women's race. This is the first pairing, Kirsten Hagen from British Columbia and Audrey Phaneuf. When we do the 1,500 meters, which is 3 3/4 laps, we give you the first 300-meter time. Phaneuf's time is at 27:45, Hagen in at 29:41, and now you'll see a full lap time. They start at the 300-meter mark, and then once they hit the what would be the finish line, then there are 3 laps after that. So the coaches and the athletes look at one thing: how quickly can they go around a 400-meter oval in the quickest time possible, but pacing yourself. So Phaneuf's best Hagen at 32:55. As far as race distances and disciplines go in the sport of speed skating, this is the most grueling of them all. It is a marathon sprint. That is the bell a lap, that bell ringing. Now, Kirsten Hagen has a PB of 2:07.88. Phaneuf in at 2:05.55. So just based on that alone, you'd think Phaneuf would then cross the line first. And so if all goes according to plan, that would probably happen. But anything can happen in the sport of speed skating. But this is 1,500 meters, 3 3/4 laps around a 400-meter oval. Here comes Phaneuf on the straightaway. Hagen's turning it up as well. And Phaneuf is going to cross the line at 2:09.61, and Hagen in at 2:10.51, well off their own personal bests. In this second pairing, we will have one skater only in the inside lane. From Alberta, Caitlin Pelkey. All right, in this first 300 meters for Caitlin Pelkey, at 28.95, she was to be paired with Sophia Bieber. But Pelkey, as a lone skater in this pairing, she'll have her work cut out for her. It's a little tougher to skate by yourself than when you're pushed with another skater. The key is, of course, is to have the lowest possible time, lap time, for 3 full laps, and the lower your lap time, obviously, the better the finishing time. Caitlin Pelkey's personal best time, which is also her season's best, is at 2 minutes 10 seconds, .85. She's 700 meters into her 1,500 meter race, and as I mentioned earlier, this is the most grueling individual distance in the sport of speed skating. That is the bell lap, which means there's 400 meters to go in this 1,500. Pelkey is down the straightaway getting final instructions from her coach, or I should say the back stretch, as she now heads to the final corner in this 1,500 meter race for Caitlin Pelkey from Alberta. The last 100 meters, she will give it all she got. Legs are tired, lungs are tired, and it's a tough, tough race. She's going to cross the line just above her PB at 2:11.76. 2:11.76 for Caitlin Pelkey. In the third pairing, starting out in the inside lane, from Saskatchewan, sail out Mila Reben. And in the outer lane, from Quebec, Laurence Paquette. This is the third pairing of 14 pairings in the women's 1,500 meter race. We've got Laurence Paquette from Quebec, who gives us a 300 meter time at 28.72. Mila Reben in at 28.83. When announcing the 500 meters, I announced the 100 meter split. When I announced the 1,000 meters, I announced the first 200 meters. And in the 1,500 meter race, I let you know time is. We got Mila Reben from Saskatchewan, who has a personal best of 2:11.09. Laurence Paquette at 2:10.51. Very evenly matched skaters as they're 700 meters into their 1,500 meter race, with a lap time around 32.5 if I average the two together. The lower the time, the faster the overall time. As they come down the straightaway, they're going to get the bell, which is the bell lap. And as I've said before, and I'll say many times, the 1,500 meters is the most grueling individual distance in the sport of speed skating. You want to pace yourself, but at the fastest, it's like a marathon sprint. You want to go as fast as you possibly can. But it's very difficult for 3 3/4 laps. And that's the challenge. It's the mental and the physical test to each individual skater. Crossing the line first will be Laurence Paquette at 2:12.55 and Mila Reben at 2:17.52. We now move to the fourth pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Ontario, Rachel Freitag. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Haley Bell. First 300-meter time. Bell in at 28.25. Freitag in at 28.93. These skaters, their lap time is around 32 seconds. Freitag's personal best is at 2:11.49, and Bell's in at 2:11.40. Very evenly matched skaters. We're not seeing the times close to PBs at this point in time. Still many more pairings left. We'll see if we do. That is the Bell lap. And Bell and Freitag have a lap time of almost identical times, but they're about 2 seconds apart on the ice, and they're down the straightaway or the backstretch as they head to the final corner. And giving it all they have, which is not easy to do. The last 100 meters is absolutely grueling. This is going to be a close finish. And Freitag crosses the line at 2:10.16 and Healy Bell at 2:10.49. And these two ladies can be very proud of these times because they are their personal bests. Rachel Freitag and Healy Bell, congratulations. We now move to the fifth pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Ontario, Alexa Annika. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Chloe Beauchesne. First 300 meters, Beauchesne in at 29.16, Annika in at 29.81. Chloe Beauchesne from Manitoba goes to school now in Quebec and trains out of there. And now that Quebec has a new indoor oval, one of 3 in Canada. We have one in Fort St. John. We have one, of course, right here, the Calgary Olympic Oval. And now the one in Quebec City, and that's where Chloe Beauchesne now hails from. There are actually 39 permanent structure ovals around the world, believe it or not, and surprisingly, the first one was built only 46 years ago. And 3 years later, they had the Olympics in Calgary, and this oval opened up 2 years after the first one was built. And in September of 1987. So it's a 34-year-old building, a magnificent building. They've learned a lot over the years, but one of the things Calgary has produced as this oval is very famous, very knowledgeable and wise ice makers. That's why it's considered one of the fastest ice surfaces in the world. Many world records have been broken here, and many dreams have become a reality. We're watching Alex Annika from Ontario and Chloe Beauchesne from Manitoba. The bell lap has occurred. Annika, who started in the inside lane, will finish in the outer lane. Her personal best is a 2:12.28, and that skate tip crosses the line at 2:12.44 and just misses her personal best by 2/100ths of a second. Chloe Beauchesne missing her personal best. That is a season's best for Chloe. Congratulations. That whistle signals the introduction now of pair number 6, starting out in the inside lane but finishing in the outer. From Alberta, Emma Langstrom. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Callie Ann Friesen. The first 300 meters of Emma Langstrom is 29:34. Sometimes I'll announce a skater that isn't even there. Callie Ann Friesen is a scratch in this pairing, so it's Emma Langstrom from Alberta. That's the bell lap for Emma Langstrom. She's got a 35 lap time, 35:33 with less than 400 meters to go. It's tough enough to skate the 1500 meters, the toughest individual distance in the sport of speed skating. It's even tougher to do it by yourself. So, to those in the building, give her a cheer as she rounds the final corner, going down the straightaway for the last 100 meters. She has a personal best of 2:13.60. Can she do it as a solo skater in this 1500 meters? She's crossing the line, giving it all she's got. 2:15.51 off her PB by a couple seconds. We now move to the 7th pairing, starting out in the inside lane. No, it looks like we only have one skater. Introducing the one skater in this pairing in the outer lane from Ontario. Say hello to Erilyn McGill. Erilyn McGill, 300-meter time, 29.61. Skating by herself. Erilyn is from Ontario. She has a personal best time of 2:16.05 and a season's best of 2:20.79. Let's hope she can achieve either one or the other in today's race. She's 700 meters into the 1,500 meters. I was talking to you earlier about how many indoor ovals there are in the world, And there are 39 permanent structures, I was saying, and this one that we're commentating from and they're racing from, it was opened in September 1987 in advance of the 1988 Calgary Olympics. Well, relatively new. Well, they were back then when the Calgary Oval was open. But being around for so long, it's created some much sought after wisdom on how to create fast ice. The ice makers are called ice meisters, and Calgary has some of the fastest ice in the world, notwithstanding it's a higher elevation than, let's say, sea level. But a lot of records and dreams, records were broken and dreams were created here as we watch Erilyn McGill enter the final corner. Netherlands has the most permanent structured ovals with 8. China has 6. Surprisingly, the Americans only have 2, and Canada now has 3 with the Quebec Oval just opening up. She's going to cross her 1,500 meter finish line at a time of 2:15.77, and you can give it up for Erilyn McGill because that is not only a season's best, but that is a personal best. Congratulations, Erilyn. In the 8th pairing, in the inside lane from Alberta, say hello to Camille Alford. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, Hannah North. We're coming up to the first 300 meters of this 1,500 meter race. 30.66, north in at 31.81. It's so good to be back watching speed skating, watching the athletes perform at the top level. We get to see all levels of developed athletes over the next 5 days. We have an opportunity, and we will again today, to watch the Canadian Long Track Championships, which is held from Wednesday to Sunday. Canada's top athletes, long track speed skaters, and we've been witnessing some very fast times, many personal bests, a track record, a Canadian record. Lots has been going on in the 500, 3,000, 5,000, and yesterday the 1,000. Today at 4 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time, we'll have the 1,500 meters with the top 20 times. And then the Oval International Track Championships started Friday. Today's Saturday, so it goes for 3 days. And what you see is these skaters who are developing into tomorrow's future skaters for Canada and in their particular provinces. They're at all different levels of development, and it's a hard sport to learn. It's a tough sport to master, and it's a sport that takes a lot of work to be very, very good. But these athletes are giving it all they have. So here comes Alford and North down the straightaway. Let's see if they can best their personal bests. So crossing the line first is Camilla Alford at 2:22.25. And she should be happy with that time because that is, in fact, a personal best. Hannah North in at 2:24.96. A PB for Camille Alford. In the 9th pairing, inside lane from Manitoba, Robin Saleh. And in the outer lane from Germany, Nela Charlene Neumann. The first 300-meter race. Robin Sally in at 29.63. Neumann in at 29.82. Fairly evenly matched skaters for the first 300 meters. But there are 3 full laps to go. A grueling individual distance in the sport of speed skating. A marathon sprint is what we have. They're well into their race, 700 meters in fact. Just to talk a little bit about the Canadian Long Track Championships and the Oval International. So it's a 5-day affair with 2 meets commingled together. I don't think this has been done now since 2 years ago, since the pandemic has slowed or stopped everything or grinded everything to a halt. But 3 days, the Oval International. We have the 1,500 meters in the women's and the men's, and then tomorrow we have the 1,000. That is the bell lap. Neumann has a lap time of 33.61. Sally in at 35.78. Here comes Neumann from Germany. No doubt exhausted, but she's going to cross the line at a time of 2:11:37. I don't believe she's ever raced this race before, so that would be a PB for her. Robin Sally, this will be one of the few times she's raced it, but she absolutely crushes her personal best. 2:17:77 for Robin Sally. Congratulations, Robin, and congratulations, Nayla. In the 10th pairing, in the inside, Elena Menina. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Sophia Dvorak. Sophia Dvorak from Saskatchewan is going to cross the 300-meter line first at 32:08. Sophia Dvorak's P personal best is 2:43.19. Menina's at 2:29.12. Let's hope that they achieve personal bests here, because that's what it's all about. I had an opportunity to talk to Ted-Jan Bloemen yesterday a little bit. He came up into the timing deck and we had a good chat. And I asked him what makes a good speed skater. And his answer was, bottom line, technique is everything. Technique is everything. And you can tell when a speed skater has the technique down. They don't look like they're actually working that hard, but they're just very, very efficient. They would have a rounded back. They would be pushing to the side. And perhaps even down the straightaways, you can see them actually maybe forming maybe the letter S or little S turns as they move and have some rhythm. You can see, as you see it on the YouTube right now. And of course, conditioning is critical, but the fitter you are, the longer you're able to hold that technique. And no one better to know that than Ted-Jan Bloemen, because he can do that for 12.5 laps, 25 laps, and we're actually going to see him race the 1,500 today, which isn't his race, of course, because he's not built for sprint, he's built for long distance, but should be a fun race nonetheless. Here comes Dvorak. down the straightaway, giving it all she's got, being cheered on by her fellow teammates. And she comes in at a time of 2:24.61. You can say goodbye, Sophia, to that old personal best because you crushed it. 2:24.61 is your new PB. Rather, let's see if I got this right. Elena Manana crosses the line at 2:24.61. Dvorak at 2:34.43 and beats her personal best. These two ladies have two BBs. I had it in reverse. I have it right now. In the 11th pairing in the 1,500-meter women's in the 2021 Oval International in the inside lane from Manitoba, Jordan Campbell. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Tatiana Dovlig. The first 300 meters is complete. Jordan Campbell has a time of 29.61. Dovlig in at 30.14. Both of these skaters have posted personal best times. Campbell at 2:38.96 and Dovlig in at 2:27.54. They'll be looking to improve upon those times. We're looking at Jordan Campbell in the yellow and Dovlig in the black if you've just joined us or you've been watching on the YouTube feed. Later today, the Canadian Long Track Championships will have a YouTube feed along with a feed on Facebook, and there'll be a CBC feed as well. And there is the bell lap for Jordan Campbell. Her lap time, last lap time, is 36.9. Dovlig in at 38.29. I think we're going to see a possible PB here out of one or both of these skaters. 2:38.96 would be the time to beat for Jordan. And Dovlig 2:23.54. Here comes Jordan. She will place first as she comes down the straightaway, giving it all she's got. This is a very tiring race. Very tiring. Exhausting, but challenging, all wrapped in one. 2:20.05. 2:20.05 for Jordan Campbell and 2:23.33 for Dovlig. Jordan crushes her personal best by a long shot and by a few 100ths of a second. Congratulations, ladies. Well done. In the 12th pairing, in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Sophia Ritsuk. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Isabel Erasmus. Sophia Ratsuk from Saskatchewan, Isabel Erasmus from Alberta. Very close matched. Ritsuk has a personal best time of 3:37.57. Erasmus 2:51.37. Keep in mind, some of these skaters either the first-time racers or they haven't raced the 1,500 meters in 2 years, thanks in large part due to the pandemic. So these skaters are 2 years older, 2 years stronger, 2 years fitter, and so we should see some considerable lower times as these particular racers develop throughout their career. If you just joined us on the YouTube feed, we are at the Calgary Olympic Oval. This is a 2021 Oval International. The bell app has been rung. This is the 12th of 14 pairings for the 1,500 meters, the most grueling individual distance in the sport of speed skating. We have Sophia Ritsuk from Saskatchewan and Isabel Erasmus from Alberta. And they're looking to better their personal bests. Not an easy race to race. I'd say both of these skaters are extremely fatigued at this moment in time. Oftentimes it's just hard to just stay upright for the last 6. She's going to cross the line first, and she's going to do so at a time of 2:40.40. Not even close to a personal best, as she just crushes it by probably almost 40 seconds. 2:45.22 for Isabel Erasmus. Another personal best there, so Sophia Ritsuk and Isabel Erasmus, congratulations on PBs. We are now in the 13th pairing. I believe we have one skater, and we do. In the outer lane, say hello from Alberta, Elise Perpich. Elise Perpich, 300-meter time is 32.12. I've said before, it's a difficult race to race, but it's even more difficult when it's by yourself. It's always better to be pushed by another skater. You want to beat the other skater, but you also want the other skater to do very well, because the better the other skater does, it's competition. But at the end of the day, this race is about beat the clock. It's about time to go as fast as you possibly can in each of the distances. This is the second last pairing of the 1,500-meter women's. Once this is done, we will then have an ice resurface, and we will be back at 12:20, unless I'm told differently, for 20 pairings in the men's 1,500 meters. We'll have an ice resurfacing. And that's the bell lap. And this is all Elise Perpich from Alberta. No doubt, Elise is feeling it. She doesn't have a personal best or a season's best. This may be her first time 1500. So once she crosses a line, she'll have both in the books and a time to build from. Giving it all she's got. It looks like she's pushing hard to come across that line, and the tip of the skate crosses the line in the time of 2:33.69. Elise Perpich, 2:33.69 is your new PB to beat next time you race. We have one final skater. I see the coach is happy with Elise Perpich's race. We have the final pairing, the 14th pairing with one skater. Give it up in the inside lane from Alberta, Eloise Spence. So Eloise Spence is flying solo on this 1,500-meter race. She doesn't also have a personal best or season's best, so this may be the first time she's ever raced the 1,500. And whether it's the first time, well, for any particular distance, in particular the 1,500 or the 3,000, notwithstanding the 5 and 10, it's just a grueling experience, an amazing experience, but one that taxes you and realizes just how much what you need in order to push and learn to get your times lower. So what I want to do now is just talk to you a little bit about the ice here at the Calgary Oval. I talked a little bit about how fantastic the ice meisters are and how their knowledge and wisdom is exported around the world. There's 39 permanent indoor oval structures, but to create ice from scratch, to make it fast, the first thing they do is cool the concrete pad to about -7 degrees. And then they throw an organic compound on it. It's kind of like antifreeze, I guess, and it's called glycol, really. And they put this glycol through the pipes that's embedded in the concrete. And then they throw 3 light coats of not regular water, but demineralized water. They spray it on the pad, and it freezes right away. And then to make the ice nice and white, there's the bell lap for Eloise Spence. To make the ice as white as possible, they spray paint, 500 gallons of white paint, which dries almost immediately. Then they apply the dots and lines and logos to indicate. Apply water to seal that paint to prevent it from coming to the surface. So then the entire surface is sealed. By the time they're done, the surface is 2.5 to 3 centimeters thick, and that's the same thickness through the entire 400 meters oval, which is 13 meters wide. And then the Zambonis they use are a bit wider, and a special blade they use to keep it nice and smooth. So here comes Eloise. That's how they make fast ice in Calgary. A lot of intellect, a lot of work behind it. You just can't do it in your backyard. Eloise Spence, giving it up for Eloise Spence. From Alberta with a time of 2:43.76, and that is her personal best and season's best. We are officially going to stop here. It's 11:53, but we're going to come back at a hard start time at 12:20, which is in 26 minutes from now. 4 minutes to race time. 4 minutes to race time. Two-minute warning, 2 minutes to the start of the 1,500-meter men's race here at the 2021 Oval International. I'm going to turn the music off right now. Thomas Mélin, right? There's the starter's whistle. That's a signal for me now to begin introducing the pairings. And there are 20 of them in the 1,500-meter race here in the 2021 Oval International. And this is the first of the 20 pairings. In the inside lane from Quebec, Jonah Hurtubise. And in the outer lane from France, Thomas Mélin. And we are off. This is the first pairing of 20 pairings in the 1500 meter men's race. The first 300 meter time for Hurtubise is 24:41. For Maylene, it's 24:98. Hurtubise is as a personal best time of 1:50:54, and Maylene in at 1:51:13. They also have a season's best, which is a little higher than their PB. Let's see how they make out. They're coming up to the 700 meter mark. Let's see what their lap times are. Very close indeed, just over 27 seconds. Coming down the backstretch, I noticed Hurtubise was enjoying some of the draft that Maylene was providing for him, and that little bit helps. Every little bit helps out there to reduce the amount of resistance as they travel around the oval. The bell lap. Hurtubise has started in the inside lane, but he's going to finish in the outer. He's in the orange skin suit. Here they come around in the final corner and down the straightaway, giving it all they got. They are pushing. They are feeling the effects of pushing the 1500 meter sprint. 1:50:62 for Hurtubise, which is a season's best, but just shy of his personal best. And Thomas Maylene in at 1:51:31. And again, like Hurtubise, just over a PB. Season's best for both Jonah and Thomas. Well done, gentlemen. In the second pairing in the inside lane from the Netherlands, Hannu Daman. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, Eric Olowski. Damon's opening 300 meter time is 24:61. He's in the blue skin. 9. Second and fourth fastest time so far in the early pairings of the 1500 meter men's here at the Oval International. The time to beat will be Hurtubise at 1:50:62. Let's see what the lap time is after 700 meters. 26:49 for Damon, and Orlovsky in at 28.2. Hannu Daman is in the blue skin suit. Eric Orlovsky is in the black and orange skin suit. Damon's personal best is 1:48.88, and Orlovsky's at 1:52.44. There is the bell lap, which means they're going to be giving it all they got to get the lowest possible time here. 1:50.62 is the time to beat. Maylene's in at 1:51.31. He's going to finish in the outer lane, and he's going to give it all he's got. He will place first and have the fastest time of this pairing, but he's going to cross the line at a time of 1:49.63. Orlovsky in at 1:53 even. That's the season's best for Eric, and Hannu just 1.5 seconds off his personal best. We now move to the third pairing. I see two skaters on the screen in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Marc-Andre Doyon. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, Craig Miller. In this third pairing, we got a Marc-Andre Doyon from Saskatchewan and Craig Miller from British Columbia. Doyon's opening 300 is at 24:54, the second fastest so far in the three pairings. Craig Miller in at 24:77. The time to beat now is Hanno Daman from the Netherlands at 1:49:63. Jonah Hurtubise is 1:50:62, and in third position is Thomas Méline from France at 1:51:31. Let's have a look at their lap times. 26:87 for Miller and Doyon at 27:35. And that is the bell lap with the time to go. Both times around 28 3/4 for their lap time. They're looking, of course, to get a personal best. 1:52:97 would be Doyon's personal best, and 1:53:17 for Craig Miller. Rounding the final corner on the straightaway. Here they come. Doyon in the green, Miller in the black. Miller's going to take the first time. He crosses the line at 1:51:08, and he's going to be happy with that time because he beat his personal best by 2 seconds. And Doyon at 1:51:62, and he's also going to be happy with that time. Gentlemen, tremendous PBs. You didn't beat them. You in the fourth pairing in the inside lane from Alberta, Cody Miller. And in the outer lane, also from Alberta, Hobbs Holzer. If you've just joined us on the YouTube feed, we are watching the men's 1,500 meters in the Oval International meet. I don't believe we've had now for the last 2 years. We've got Hobbs and Cody Miller, also from Alberta. Miller's clocking the fastest 300-meter time at 24:26. Holzer's in there, the fifth fastest at 24:76. Cody Miller is in the blue. Hobbs Holzer is in the black, and you're watching the most grueling, the most challenging individual distance in the sport of speed skating. It is a marathon sprint, exhausting these athletes, fatiguing their muscles, their lungs, their entire spirit to achieve the fastest time they possibly can. I wonder if Cody Miller is benefiting from some of the draft from Hobbs Holzer. They've got that 100 meters to work with. As long as they don't impede each other, they can benefit from that. And it works both ways as well. Miller started in the inside lane. He's going to finish in the outer lane with the bell lap just rung. Here they go, the final 300 meters of this 1,500 meters. And they're giving it all they got on each of these athletes. It's not like a 10,000 meter race where you're pacing yourself, or a 5,000 or even a 3,000. This is a full-on 3 3/4 lap sprint, marathon sprint. Here comes Cody Miller down the stretch. The tip of his skate's going to cross over at 1:51:44. Hobbs Holzer in at 1:53:02, and both of these gentlemen has achieved a personal best. They're going to be very happy with that. Cody Miller, Hobbs Holzer, congratulations. These skaters are exhausted, and they have every right to be. They pushed and created a new personal best. Now moving to the fifth pairing, starting in the inside lane from Quebec, Gregory Picard. Also from Quebec in the outer lane, Antoine Godbout. And we are off. This is pairing number 5 in the 1,500 meter men's race. We have 20 pairings in total. We have Gregory Picard and Antoine Godbout, both from Quebec, both very evenly matched skaters. They crossed the 300 meter mark at 24.86 for Picard, and Godbout in at 24.43. Again, evenly matched at the start, but also their personal bests are 153.44 and 153.60, Picard and Godbout respectively. So we should see a very 100 meter mark. They're 4/100ths of a second apart. And even though Picard's lap time is a little quicker, Godbout's time would have been a little quicker in the early going. So here we go. We're 700 meters into this 1,500 meter race. We're about to get the bell rung, and there we go. And so what we have is Picard in the inside lane. They're both wearing black skin suits. So Picard in the inside lane, but he's going to cross over into the outer lane and finish exactly in the outer lane. So 153 and change is what we're looking for. How deep can they dig as they round the final corner in this 1,500 meter men's 5th pairing? Here comes Gregory Picard. All he's got, here comes Godbout. Picard's going to cross the line first at a time of 1:55 for Godbout, 1:55.10 for Godbout. And that is a personal best for Gregory Picard. The time to beat, 1:49.63 by Daman. Hurtubise at 1:50.62 and 1:51.08 for Craig Miller. A couple of Manitoba skaters coming up in the 6th pairing in the inside lane from Manitoba, Joel Simpson. And in the outer lane, also from Manitoba, Simon Coots. False start. We're going to do it again. Well, we've had many battles of Quebecs and Albertas and Saskatchewans, and today we've got a bit of a battle of Alberta. Joel Simpson and Simon Coots. Simpson's first 300 meters at a 24.7, Coots in at 24.74, basically identical, as is their personal best. Joel Simpson's personal best is 1:53.80, and Coots in at 1:52.45. Very evenly matched. And we should see this all the way, in fact, right through the race. Joel Simpson is in the yellow skin suit, and Simon Coots is in the black and orange skin suit. Two skaters I've known for many years. Joel Simpson is a second year out at University of Calgary. Came out last year, but had to go back to Manitoba because of the pandemic. And Simon Coots has been in the Oval program for many, many years, skating as a senior. And there is the bell lap right now with less than 400 meters to go. It's all about gentlemen going to achieve personal bests. They know what's at stake here. It's about giving it all the way into the final corner and down the straightaway. Here comes Simon Coots from Manitoba. All he's got. Everything. Here comes Simpson around the corner. We're looking for a 152.45, and we got a 152.79, just off his personal best by 3/100ths of a second. Simpson in at 156.50. In the seventh pairing, in the inside lane, from Alberta, Zachary Lacroix. And in the outer lane, from Saskatchewan, Bon Low. In the opening time, Lacroix 300 meters is at 24:47. Low's in at 25:56. The time to beat 149.63. So far fairly safe, and that is owned by Hanno Daman. In second place, Jonah Huttebiz at 150.62. Followed by Craig Miller, the third fastest time at 151.08. We're 700 meters into a 1,500 meter race. You're seeing the lap times on the screen if you're watching the YouTube. And Low in at 29:05. Fairly evenly matched skaters. Their personal bests are just over 1 minute 55 seconds. So depending on how they're feeling today, we should see a challenge for that, but fairly evenly matched as well on the ice. And that is the bell lap. 30:61 is Lacroix's lap time. 30:97 is Low's. They're about 2 seconds apart on the ice. Lacroix is taking this pairing right now as he heads towards the outer lane to finish off this race with everything he's got, rounding the final corner. And here comes Lacroix. Everything he's got. Will he beat his 155.10 personal best? That's the number I'm watching, and I'm sure that's the number he's watching. 156.29, just off by a second and a bit. Bon Low in at 157.96. In the eighth pairing of the 1,500 meter men's oval international, in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Daniel Pauly. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Emil Hodzak Center. This is the eighth pairing of 20 pairings in the 1,500 meter men's. You're seeing Danielle Pauly and Emil Hodzak Center, basically with the same color of skin suits, black. So Danielle Pauly, who started in the inside lane, will finish in the outer lane. You can see Hodzak Center getting a little bit of draft off Daniel Pauly on the first backstretch. Pauly's first 300 meters is 25:01. Hodzak Center in a 24:96. The time to beat is Hanno Daman's at 149.63. That time at this point looks fairly safe, as does second place Jonah Huttebiz and Craig Miller in the third fastest time of this 1,500 meter men's race. we're going to get a bell lap, and we do, signaling the last 400 meters of this 1,500-meter race. Daniel Pauly on the inside lane is where he started. He will finish on the outer, on the inner. Crossing the line first is Hodzak Center at 1:53.58, and Paulian at 1:57.37. Hodzak Center's personal best was 1:56. He came across at 1:53. He crushed his personal best by at least 3 seconds. Emil Hodzak Center, congratulations. In the 9th pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Ontario, Samuel Galloway. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Caden Witkowski. Here we go. The 9th pairing in the 1,500-meter men's 2021 Oval International. I don't know how to tell you this, but it's really good to be back watching speed skating. Caden Witkowski's first 300-meter time is 24:73. Galloway in a 25.5. The fastest time so far today, and it looks like it's in good shape to stay there, is Hanno Dannen from the Netherlands at 1:49.63. Jonah Hutebies at 1:50.62, and Craig Miller in at 1:51.08. Galloway's personal best is just over almost 1:57. Evenly matched skaters. Galloway from Ontario, Witkowski from Alberta. Witkowski is in the blue, and Galloway is in the black skin suit with the orange accent. Here they come down the straightaway and about to enter the bell lap. And there it is, the bell lap. They're about just over a second apart with lap times under 31. But now it's all they got. So Galloway crosses over behind Witkowski. Wonder if he got a little bit of a draft. It was a quick changeover towards the late part of the 100 meters. Here comes Witkowski out of the corner first, but now it's a straightaway, and it's all guts and determination. These guys are giving it all they got. And crossing the line first will be Caden Witkowski. And Galloway at 1:57.37, just off their personal bests. In the 10th pairing, in the inside lane, from Australia, Darius Achetti. And in the outer lane, from Saskatchewan, Keegan Waddington. In the first 300 meters, Achetti's time is 26.69. Waddington in at 25.77. Dara Sacchetti and Keegan Waddington in this race. Sacchetti ended up in the same lane as Waddington and will not complete the race, which is unfortunate. So we focus on Waddington's race, who has a personal best of 1:57.21. He'll be looking to best that time. Lap for Keegan Waddington. Rules state that you must stay in your lane and then you cross over each and every time you're on the backstretch, because inner and outer lanes are different distances. So the idea of the switchover is that the 1,500 meters is the same distance for both racers. Here comes Keegan Waddington in the final stretch of his 1,500 meters. He is taxed. He's given it all he's got, and he crosses the line at a time of 1:58.96, about a second and a half off his PB. 1:58.96. That's unfortunate for Darius Sacchetti. We now move to the 11th pairing. Starting this 1,500 meter race off in the inside lane from Alberta, Jalen Doan. And starting in the outer lane from Goliath. We are in the 11th pairing of 20 pairings in the 1,500 meter men's races. Jalen Doan from Alberta and Nicholas Goliath from British Columbia. Doan is in the blue skin suit. Goliath is in the black skin suit. Their 300 opening 300 meters for Doan is 24:27, and Goliath is at 25.5. In terms of personal best, they're actually fairly close. Under 1:59, and Goliath is just over 1:59. So this is going to be an interesting race here. Both are very strong skaters, and we're going to see. Well, Doan is leading the race right now. We'll see if Goliath can catch up here. They're about 3 seconds apart at this point, and the lap time is about 2 seconds apart between the two of them. Here's the second last straightaway before they get the bell lap, and there is the bell. If you can't hear it on YouTube, if you're listening and watching on the feed, I'll give it to you in terms of words. We can certainly hear it here, as we've got some expert bell ringers here down here at the Calgary Olympic Oval. Jalen Doan and Nicholas Goliath are racing, and Jalen Doan, which started in the inside lane, is going to finish in the outer, giving it all he's got. Meters. This is hard for these guys. There's no question. Here he comes. Doan crosses the line at 1:55.24. Blows the doors off his personal best. Goliath at 1:59.32. Just misses it by a second and a bit. So Jalen Doan crushing his personal best by 3 seconds. Congratulations. In the 12th pairing, starting out this race in the inside lane from Saskatchewan, Liam Dallaire. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Jared Farquharson. In the opening 300 meters, Jared Farquharson's in at 25.84. Dallaire's in at 26.14. These are two evenly matched skaters. Both of their personal bests are just under 2 minutes. In fact, their personal bests are separated by 4/100ths of a second. So let's see if they can both beat their personal bests. It's probably been a couple years since they raced the 1,500 meters. And so they're 2 years older, 2 years stronger, and training. You know, you may as well get that pent-up frustration and express it on the ice and skate fast, because it's a price to pay for being fast on ice. So that is the Bell lap, and they have less than 400 meters to race. Liam Dallaire from Saskatchewan and Jared Farquharson from Alberta in this 12th pairing in the 1,500 meters. Crossover has occurred. Farquharson, who started in the outer lane, will finish in the inner lane. Looks like he's going to finish the race first, and he's going to cross the line at a time of 1:57.32. And Dallaire at 1:59.75. And gentlemen, both of those are personal best. Jared beat yours by over 2 seconds, and Liam just under a half a second. Personal best for Liam. We now move to the 13th pairing. Starting this race in the inside lane from Alberta, Matthew Medlicott. And in the outer lane, representing Manitoba, Ian McPeak. Matthew Medlicott from Alberta, who's in the yellow, Ian McPeak. Let's take a look at their 300-meter time. 25.54 for Matthew Medlicott, and Ian McPeak, 26.92. Their personal bests are 2:01 and change. I expect both of these personal bests to be beat because they're probably from a couple of years ago. A lot of the times they're 500 and 1,000. There are more of those races than the 1,500, and you know why? Is because the 1,500 is so taxing. You don't race multiple 1,500s during meet. You will do a couple 500s, 1,000, one 1,500, and perhaps even a 3,000. For those developing into an all-round speed skater and not specializing in either a short distance like the 500 or the 5,000 or 10. Okay, we got less than 200 meters, well, almost halfway, 200 meters to go, let's say. And Medlicott started in the inside lane. He's going to finish in the outer lane. He's in the black and orange outfit. But Peak is going to give him a run for his money. And here they come down the straightaway. Nothing more exciting than two racers giving it all their heart all the way to the end. And let's see how this is going to cross. It's going to be about the same time. McPeak crosses the line at 1:59.56, and Matthew Medlicott at 1:59.93 for personal bests for these two racers. Congratulations. In the next pairing, which is pairing number 14, in the inside lane, starting this race from Alberta, Daniel Hall. And in the outer lane, also from Alberta, Andre Erasmus. This 14th pairing is up against Daniel Hall and Andre Erasmus. Call it the Battle of Alberta's. Erasmus opening 300-meter time is 25.2. Hall in at 27.3. Both of their personal best, which would be set probably a couple of years ago, is around 2:02. That's a long time ago. It's been a long time since we've had a full speed skating race season, and looks like it's well underway. It started late August here in Calgary. It's happening all around the world. You can look at Andre black skin suit. Daniel Hall is in the black suit, but their times are around 2:02. I expect both of those times to be much lower, and for them to skate with a new personal best here at the Oval. Let's see what happens as this race unfolds. We're 700 meters into it, and we're about to get the bell lap, and Andre Erasmus now gets that bell lap with less than 400 meters to go. They're about 4 seconds apart on the ice. That's what 4 seconds looks like. If you look out on the ice, they're down the backstretch getting the final instructions and encouragement from their coaches. Exhausted. This is such an exhausting discipline. The toughest race in the sport of speed skating, a marathon sprint. Here comes Erasmus. Is he going to beat his personal best? They're digging in, both Hall and Erasmus. Erasmus will cross the line first, and he does so at a time of 59.97. Erasmus crushes his personal best, as does Hall. Gentlemen, congratulations. PBs. You should be very proud of that race. We now move to the 15th pairing. And in this pairing, starting the race in the inside lane from Alberta, Dino Alaz. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, Jack Hansen. It's nice that we have a clean start in every race. That's what the starters want, and that's what the athletes want. That's what we all want. A clean start, a still start, and that's what we got in the second start here. So here we go. Dino Alaz and Jack Hansen, they're opening 300 meters. Alaz in at 27.43, Hansen in at 27.93. This is just over 2:04. And his season's best is just around that as well. And Hansen is at 2:06.27. So two evenly matched skaters. We'll be looking for a personal best to be bested here in this particular race. We'll keep our fingers crossed for them. They want that. We want that. A good confidence builder when you beat a personal best, because that means that all the blood, sweat, and tears of the training you're putting in is you get to see it on a measuring stick called lower times. The time to beat, speaking of times, Hanu Damon's time, which looks like it's very safe at 1:49.63. Jonah Hurtabiz at 1:50.62, and Craig Miller at 1:51.08. You have the bell lap. And so Alaz and Hansen, as they come out the final corner, here comes Dino Alaz. We're looking to see if he can beat his 2:04.63 time, 2:05.20. He doesn't. Alaz comes in at 2:07.46, both just off their PBs. Both racers are exhausted, and understandably so. We now move to the 16th pairing of 20 pairings in the 1,500-meter men's races in the Oval International. In the inner lane from British Columbia, say hello to Cameron Thomas. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Ben Rutledge. This is the 16th pairing of 20 pairings in the 1,500-meter men's. We've got Ben Rutledge from Manitoba with an opening 300 meters at 27:36. Cameron Thomas from British Columbia with an opening 300 meters at 27:69. It's been a while since these skaters have raced to 1,500 meters. Well, actually, Cameron Thomas has a season's best of around 2:08. And for Ben Rutledge, his time probably oval. No, that's not right. At the Fall Classic is when he did his 2:07.96. So we're expecting personal best from these two skaters. Cameron Thomas from British Columbia, Ben Rutledge from Manitoba. They both came out of the backstretch where they get their instructions and their encouragement from their coaches. They're coming down the straightaway in front of the fans, where about they're going to be greeted by the bell. And the bell rings it, meaning that's the last lap, the final lap ahead. Rutledge is in the yellow and black skin suit. Cameron Thomas is in the orange and black outfit. Rutledge started in the outer lane. He is going to finish in the inner lane, and this is where it burns for these athletes. They're giving it all they got. A test of mental and fitness fortitude. Here comes Rutledge, all he's got all the way down the final 100 meters. Finish his 100 meters. Rutledge crosses the line at 2:03.84. And Thomas across the line at 2:08.69. Just missing his season's best, but Rutledge crushes his personal best by 4 seconds. Congratulations, Ben Rutledge. We now move to the 17th pairing. Starting in the inside lane, representing Alberta, say hello to Bob Irvine. Looks like they'll be the only skater. Bob Irvine's opening 300 meters is 29.09. Bob Irvine is a skater that's been skating for many, many years, loves the sport, wants to continually challenge himself. And here he is doing so in the 1,500 meters. Me, I probably am genetically disposed to be a lawn bowler, which is far different as an athlete, as a speed skater. So we've got Bob Irvine from Alberta on the ice, skating by himself as he heads, coaching himself, it looks like. This 3 3/4 laps, 1,500 meters. He's soon going to get the bell lap. I'm going to find out what his personal best is. Bob's personal best on the 1,500 meters is 2:02:53. He's done a 2:10 this year. The 2:10:36 as he rounds the final corner, heading into the final 100 meters. Will he beat his personal best of 2:02 or his season's best of 2:10? 15:25. Give that man a hand. Two whistles from the starter, signaling the skaters to head to the start. This is the 18th pairing. Introducing, starting in the inner lane from Ontario, Phoenix Bauma. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, Matthew Mitchell. This is the 18th pairing. There is 20 pairings in total. Phoenix Bauma, Matthew Mitchell, Bauma from Ontario. His opening 300 meters is 28.01. Mitchell's at 28.62. Matthew Mitchell's from British Columbia. Matthew Mitchell is in the orange and black outfit. Phoenix Bauma is in the red and black. The Ontario logo is on the back, so that signals he's obviously from Ontario. We're about to be 700 meters into a 1,500 meter race, which is 3 3/4 laps around a 400 meter oval. That's 13 meters in width and 2.5 to 3 centimeters in ice depth. There's Matthew Mitchell crossing over behind Bauma, and might help him in just a little bit. Here comes Bauma down the straightaway, starting in the inside. Rather, Mitchell starting in the inside, finishing in the outside. Here comes the bell lap. You see numbers, if you're watching the YouTube feed, you'll see some numbers that are abbreviated. There was a number a coach showed, let's say Matthew Mitchell. It had a 5 and a 2 on it. You'll see on the screen it says 35.28. It signals to Mitchell that he has a 35.2 lap time. And crossing the line first will be Phoenix Bauma at 2:08.72. And that will be a personal best by 2/100ths of a second for Bauma. Congratulations. Matthew Mitchell crosses the line at 2:13.74. And that is also Bauma, Matthew Mitchell. Congratulations. This is the 19th pairing of 20 pairings, one skater. Would you please help me welcome, starting the race in the inside lane, finishing it in the outer lane from Alberta, Caleb Jacobson. Caleb Jacobson from Alberta, solo skater in this 1500 meters. He crosses his first 300 meters at 26:37. He has a personal best of 2:10.71. I expect that to fall by many seconds. That has got to be at least a couple of years old, a year and a half anyway. Many of these personal bests are from 2 years ago. Many are skating the 1500 meters for the first time since the pandemic gripped us and shut down virtually our way of life. But guess what? We're back speed skating now. We're coexisting with the virus, with our vaccinations, with our masks, with our hand washing, and well, the physical distancing seems to be a little bit more relaxed these days, but maybe that's the vaccination allowing us a little bit of liberty in that department. But my hands have never been cleaner, and I wear the mask all the time. Plus, I've been double vaxxed. Happy to say it. Carry my proud double vaccination immunization card around with me all the time. All right, here we go. That is the bell lap, and 400 meters to go with a lap time of 34:40. So Caleb Jacobson and his coach will be focusing on the personal best of 2:10.71. They will have a strategy as they move through the race. He started in the inside, but he will finish now on the outside. Rounding the final corner, you can see him on the YouTube feed and live right down the straightaway. There's no doubt that he's feeling it. 1,500 meters, the most grueling single distance in the sport of speed skating. He will cross the line. That tip of the skate crosses over at 2:09.25, beats his personal best by a second and a half. Congratulations from Alberta, Caleb Jacobson. We now move to the final pairing. I heard the whistle, and now I see the skater on the screen, and across legendary Bill Blonsky, 3 3/4 laps in the inner lane. Say hello from Alberta, Bill Blonsky. Okay, this is the 20th and final pairing of the 1,500 meter men's race. Bill Blonsky has a personal best time of 3:07.90, a season's best of 3:41. It's customary for me to help out Bill with a bit of music, a bit of inspirational music for him and for all. So let's join him in this journey of the 3 3/4 lap race around the Calgary Olympic Oval. There's the bell lap for Bill Blonsky. Let's bring him home. Down the home stretch, Blonsky goes. Give him a round of encouragement. Bring it home, Bill! And he crosses a time of 3:40.09. 3:40.09. He bests his season's best by over a ski. The 1,500-meter men, Hanno Daman with the best time at 1:49.63. Jonah Hurtubise at 1:50.62 and Craig Miller at 1:51.08. That's a wrap for day 2 of the 2021 Oval International. It's 1:20. We now prepare the ice while the athletes prepare for the 4 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time start of the 1,500-meter women's long track Canadian Championships. 10 pairings followed by the men's 1,500-meter and 10 pairings. We'll see you back here